Good evening, everyone. It's Serotonin. I wanted to do a little collective dig for you guys, pull together a couple of resources to talk about the epidemic that's apparently happening on our planet. And I wanted to start out with directing you guys to this particular video. Pretty much everything I'm going to be talking about today is from the last three postings from StarshipEarthBigPicture.com. So if you don't know that blog, then you might want to check it out. It's one of my absolute favorites. And they do a really amazing collection of, did amazing collecting of articles and information on this particular situation. So this man is, he is a resident. He's been living in China for 14 years. He's originally from South Africa. And because he is not a Chinese resident, he is able to safely call out the Communist Chinese Party, or the Chinese Communist Party, I should say, about their decisions for the last few decades and where the country is and the poverty they face and the situation that they're in right now. And a big part of this video is actually him calling it the sheer hypocrisy of environmentalist activists and how nobody is pointing the finger at China. Everybody is focused on Western country practices, and that China apparently is responsible for overfishing in their own oceans as well as down the coast of Africa. Apparently, they have completely decimated the fishing along there, and then there's other environmental causes. I mean, the video goes right into it. But it also lays a foundation for where they're at now and how they got there and why things are the way they are. Very, very interesting video. So we're going to go right back up to the top here. And I'm also going to show you here a couple of really good ones. Now, I never watched this video. I don't really watch this guy. But anyway, he has a bunch of stuff to talk about. There's this, which is a very interesting article, just basically talking about how this is basically a financial trap. And then this is a really interesting article from John Rappaport, who I don't know very well at all, actually, but this is really interesting article. I got about 3/4 of the way through that. So here are some wonderful side effects of this is that the Pope is going to not be seen in public for a while due to this virus, which of course is exploding some theories that I have about what this is really about. And we're going to get into that right now. In fact, I will go in here immediately. So the next posting, and I'm going to actually read this one. Excuse me. As we know, the global elite have been broke for some time, and the current economic system is being propped up to avoid a market crash and global catastrophe. This news is very interesting in light of the novel coronavirus pandemic, isn't it? Instigating war to generate capital isn't going so well, so the World Bank is owned and run by the New World Order elites, and from what we hear is basically bankrupt. Their entire financial system is crumbling. So what they're doing is they're about to release something called pandemic bonds, which has never happened before. And the source for this is from RT, or Russia Today. And it's pretty crazy. And they do make reference here to a lot of CEOs having stepped down. And I just want to make a point that those of you probably, I don't know if you heard or not, Bob Iger is the CEO of Disney, and he has been forced into resignation. And a different guy called Bob is going to take over. And very interestingly, Steven Spielberg, who is apparently currently directing Indiana Jones 5, has now given up that role. He's stepping down as the director of his own franchise to let somebody else direct it. Isn't that fascinating? I find that fascinating. So if you don't understand why I'm fascinating, if you can't hear the smile that I'm smiling right now, Steven Spielberg has a lot to answer for. We'll just leave it like that. Now, going back to X22 financial report, I actually never watch these or listen to these because it frankly bores me to pieces. But this is a very interesting one where they're theorizing that basically what we are probably witnessing is a transition from the global economy to the people's economy, and that wouldn't surprise me in the least. So the last thing I wanted to direct you guys to is the very last posting of the day. And this is very, very interesting. And I think this is probably the most important thing of all. So, yet another foreigner who is living in China, and this is, you're going to see a pattern here. Um, People who are Chinese residents who have nowhere else to live will not be speaking up about this because they're terrified of the repercussions from their own government. They have nowhere else to go. So we are going to be hearing a lot more truths from people who are actually able to go back to their home country after being in China. So please do keep that in mind. Um, so I'm just going to quickly read through what they've written here. It says, don't miss the first-hand account of what is really going on in China. This guy Nigel has a British accent but lives in China as a foreign national and has his own YouTube channel. He's doing a video with Jamie at Plain Truth channel. I don't know him very well. Oh, I do. Sorry, yeah. And he covered the Paradise Fire. He is saying the hype and pandemonium is nothing like what the media and social media is saying. It's a hoax. Listen for yourself. Anyone who is saying bodies are lying in the streets and says people are being treated worse than dogs is lying and outing themselves as a troll. Um, Go on. The disgusting lies about what's happening in China is basically a TV show, he says, and it's a pathetic joke, folks. Yes, people are quarantined, but it's not like they're saying it's all for show. They are under self-house arrest and not bolted inside like some of the stuff we've heard. The theater is very bad and has been so absurd so far to date that I had to laugh. Okay. Ironically, Nigel says the best is yet to come. Keep watching the show. Okay. So all of that will be linked in the description box below, and I hope that that helps, clarify some things for you. And if it doesn't, I don't know what to say. I apologize. So, um, have a great night, and I'll talk to you guys real soon. Okay, bye.